Assalamu alaikum my friends, how are you? Today inshallah we continue in our course how to read Quran. In the last lesson we took the main shapes of the letters, but today inshallah we continue with the shapes of the letters if we want to connect them together to make up the word. So every letter will get at least on 3 shapes: in the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, and another shape at the end of the word. Let's start. Bismillah. The first one we have it Alif. Alif from the letters which will stand up like this alone. It want to connect with the next letters. Even if they are in the same word, it will start alone like this. Then Alif in the middle. We have a small line before Alif to connect with the previous letter. That means Alif want to connect with the next letter but can connect with the previous letter. Then we have Alif at the end of the word. Same thing, small line before it to connect with the previous letter. Then we have these 3 letters, Ba, Ta, Tha. Ba, Ta, Tha. Ba, if I want to make my kids memorize these 3 letters, or anyone wants to memorize these 3 letters very well, you have to focus on the dots. Ba has 1 dot in the bottom. When I say bottom, this means ba. Bottom, ba. Connect the sound with the name. Bottom, ba. In Ta, I have 2 dots on the top. That means the name Ta. To top, Ta. 2 dots on the top. That means the name Ta. In Tha, we have 3 dots on the top. 3 Tha. 3 Tha. Here we have Ba, Ta, Tha, the main shapes. When we look to the shapes which will connect together to make up the word, we will take the half of these 3 letters in the writing. We will take the dots too. This means I have Ba like this. We will take the half and then the next letter will come to connect with it. Same thing here in Ta, and same thing here in Tha. In the middle, we have 2 hands for the Ba and Ta and Tha. Hand before to connect with the previous letter, hand after to connect with the next letter. And same thing in Ta, same thing in Tha. Just you need to focus on the dot. Where is it? Ba, 1 dot in the bottom. Ta, 2 dots on the top. Tha, 3 dots on the top. At the end, we have to close the letter because now we finished this word. So we have 1 hand before it to connect with the previous letter, and then we will close the letter. But we have a small exception. In Ta, we have another 2 shapes, 2 circles. We call them tight Ta, Ta marbuta. This round Ta, if we have it standing alone at the end of the word. But this Ta, if we will connect it with the previous letter, we have to put this small line. This means when I see this circle or this one here, that's with 2 dots on the top, and this is necessary, 2 dots on the top, that means this one is tight Ta, Ta marbuta. Now we finished, alhamdulillah, Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha. Then we move to the next group, Jim, Ha, Kha. In Jim, we have the dot in the middle. In Ha, no dots. In Kha, Kha, strong letter, so it's carrying its dot on the top. If I want to memorize these 3 shapes, we can say like this: Jim in the middle, Ha, no dots, Kha, carry on his dot on his head. Same thing, we will take Ba from the head with the dots. Jim, we will take its dot and we will put it down here, and then small line to connect with the next letter. In Ha, we will take the head, but because there is no dots, so no dots. and we have a small line to connect with the next letter. In kha, we will take part from the head and we will take the dot and then small line to connect with the next word. This is the shape of jim, ha, kha in the beginning of the word. Then in the middle of word, we have jim with two hands, one before, one after, as usual to connect with the previous one and with the next one. Same thing in ha, same thing in kha. At the end, we said we have to close the word, so we will close the letter. But we have a small line to connect with the previous letter. Now we finished jim, ha, kha. Then we have another group, dal, dhal. Dal, dhal from the letters like alif. They don't like to connect with the next letters, but no problem to connect with the previous letters. So in the beginning, we have these two letters standing alone. In the middle, we have small line before it to connect with the previous letter, and same thing at the end. Then we have ra, zai. The same thing like alif, like dal, like dhal. Ra and zai, they don't like to connect with the next letter. So in the beginning will be like this, alone, separating from the next letter. In the middle, we have a small line before it to connect with the previous letter. At the end, the same, inshallah. This means until now we have 5 letters. They don't like to connect with the next letters. Alif, dal, dhal, ra, zai. And inshallah later we will take waw. The next group, sin, sheen, sad, dad. They are different in their writing little bit, but when we want to connect them with the next letters, they are the same. We will take the half of the shape, then small line to connect with the next letter. This will be in the beginning. In the middle, we have 2 hands, one before, one after, to connect with the previous letter and the next letter. At the end, we will close the letters because we finished the word, but we have a small line to connect with the previous letter. Now, alhamdulillah, we finished alif, then we finished the next group, ba, ta, tha, and then we finished the next group, jim, ha, kha, then the next group, dal, dhal, ra, zai, then this group, sin, sheen, sad, dad. The next one we have ta, dha. In the shape, they are the same, just the difference between them, the dot. In the beginning, we will take the same shape, but we will put small line to connect with the next letter. In the middle, we have small line before, small line after to connect with the previous and next letter. Then we have to close the letter because we finished the word, so we need only small line before it to connect with the previous letter. Then we have ayn, ghayn. In ayn and ghayn, we will do the same like ha, kha, and jim. We have like jim, ha, kha. We will take part from the head, and then we put small line to connect with the next letter. In the middle, we have 2 lines, one before, one after. In both of them, except the dot, in ghayn, we have to pay attention about it. At the end of the word, we will close the letters because we finished our word. Plus, we have a small line before it to connect it with the previous letter. Then we have fa, qaf. Fa and qaf, the difference between them, fa has 1 dot and sleeping on the line. But in qaf, we have 2 dots, plus its line will do little bit curvy line. In the beginning of word, we will take the half of the shape of this letter with a small line to connect with the next letter. In the middle we have two hands, one before, one after for the previous letter and the next letter. At the end we will close the letter because we finished our word, and we have a small line before it to connect it with the previous letter. Let's to see kaf. Kaf has small different shapes. Kaf will be like this in the beginning of word. Look to it, be careful, and maybe you will find the middle line here little bit long, so we have to be attention about it. In the middle we have two hands, one before, one after for the previous letter and for the next letter. At the end we will back again to the main shape, and we have a small line for the previous letter. While we read, we will discover little bit small differences in kaf. We will discover it later, inshallah. Then we have lam. Lam in the beginning of word will be like this. We will take the half of the shape here, then a small line to connect with the next letter. In the middle, two hands for the previous letter and for the next letter. At the end, we back again to the main shape, and we have a small line for before letter. Then we have meme. Same thing, meme in the beginning of word. We will take the head, and then we will put small line to connect with the next one. In the middle, we have two hands to connect with the previous one and the next one. At the end, we back again to the main shape, and we will close the letter. Why? Because we finished the word, and we have a small line before to connect with the previous letter. Noon, we will do the same as meme. We will take part from it, and we will put small line to connect with the next letter. This will be in the beginning. In the middle, we have two hands. At the end, we have one hand before to connect with the previous letter, and we will close the letter. In wow, we have wow in the beginning, and we have wow in the middle, and we have a small line before it to connect with the previous letter. And then we have wow at the end of the word to connect with the previous letter. And in wow, we have to remember that wow is the letter which doesn't like to connect with the next letter. Do you remember when we said this in alif and dal, dhal, ra, zay? Number 6 is wow. These 6 letters, they don't like to connect with the next letters, even if they are in the same word, even if they are in the beginning or in the middle. Then we move to the next letter, ha. Ha will be like this. If it is standing alone, special with the at the end of the word. Special if it's at the end of the word. In the beginning of word, we'll make up like this. It looks like two circles inside each other. But the second one is not complete circle. And we have small line after it to connect with the next letter. In the middle, we have two shapes. Maybe like this one, which is two circles, and the second one is not complete circle. They are connecting together. We have line before and we have line after to connect with the previous letter and the next letter. And maybe we have this shape. This looks like this tie. It has line before and line after to connect with the previous letter and the next letter. At the end of the word, we have this small line with this circle. This, if we have ha, will connect with the previous letter. But if the ha, it want to connect with the previous letter, we have this shape, this circle. But we have to be attention. Ha has no dots. And remember, we took before ta, the tight ta, we said we have two dots. So we have to be attention. If I have two dots, that means ta. If I have no dots, that means it's a ha. In the beginning here, maybe I have hamza with alif, like this, hamza standing above the alif, and maybe I have alif, and in the bottom I have hamza. In both of them, we say here we have hamza. This will be in the beginning, and because we have hamza with alif, so this letter want to connect with the next letter. In the middle, if I have hamza with alif, this means I have small line to connect with the previous letter. But in this case, we will say we have hamza, not alif. I want to care about this lower letter. And if I have waw above it, hamza, we will call this letter hamza. We won't say here we have waw. No, here we have hamza. Maybe this waw will standing alone above it hamza, and maybe we have a small line before it to connect with the previous letter in the middle of the word or at the end of the word. Then we have this line here above it hamza. It's the same thing. We want to care about all these lines or all these letters under the hamza. In all these cases, we will say we have hamza. Just we have to be attention. If I have hamza with these letters in the middle, this means must be at least I have one line before to connect with the previous letter, but after it, no. Except this one too, we have two lines, one before, one after, for the previous letter and for the next letter. Then we have hamza at the end. Same thing like in the middle almost, but we don't have line for the next letter. Here we have hamza above the ya. Here we have hamza standing alone on the line, and here we have hamza above the alif. As we said, in all these cases, we will say we have hamza. The last letter we have it today, inshallah, ya. Ya in the beginning of the word will be like ba and ta and tha. But in ya we have two dots in the bottom. Then we have ya with two dots, and it has two hands, one before for the previous letter and one for the next letter. And then we back again to the main letter for the end of the word. Now, alhamdulillah, we finished all the letters and how they will be in the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, or at the end of the word. So we have to repeat this video many times until you memorize the position for every letter in the beginning or in the middle or at the end. And if you want to be more perfect or to make sure about yourself you did it, you have to open the Holy Quran and try to search about surah you know it, like Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Nas, or any surah you know it, and try to discover the letters in it. Starting, for example, from Alhamdulillah, I have Alif, Lam, Ha, Mim, Dal, and start to say the name of the letters. Then open page you didn't read it before or you didn't know this page very well, and start to do the same. Try to discover the letters, say the names ba, ta, mim, ha, kha, ya. This will make you to be perfect, inshallah. These steps, if we did it very well, the next step will be easy. So you shouldn't be not good in this step and move to the next one. This won't be good for you. You have to be perfect first in knowing the names and the main shapes. Then we will know the positions for every letter in the beginning or in the middle or at the end of the word, and you have to memorize them very well, and then start to discover them in the Holy Quran to make sure about the shapes. And then we will start with the next video. See you inshallah next time. Assalamu alaikum.